Welcome back, everyone. XRP, Hober here. Today we're diving into XRP, and before I get started, later today a video will drop where I talk to Jim from Caleb and Brown. We're going to answer all those questions that people have about their brokerage. So you might want to check that out later today. And looking at XRP on the one-day chart, we're sitting here at $1.09. We are still above that $1.08 resistance. And it looked like XRP was going to start to dip below it, and then quickly it bounced back again. So are we going to continue upward from here, or can we expect lower prices for XRP? It all depends on which direction Bitcoin goes in, because we are still following Bitcoin. But even with all the conflict going on with Iran, XRP is still holding up really well right now. I just wish they would let this cryptocurrency break out already. We all know this is not the real price of XRP, and here's Bitcoin on the one-day chart sitting just above 63 kilobits, and Bitcoin right now looks really strong. It looks like we could see some more upward movement for Bitcoin. Now, if that was to happen, it would pull the rest of the market up with it. So we just need to see where we go from here. And here's the fear and greed index. We're still in fear. And I think it's because there's no confirmation of a breakout yet. Once we get that confirmation and crypto starts to rise a little bit, all of a sudden we will slip back into neutral, then greed, and then extreme greed. But right now, most people are still sitting on the sidelines, and everybody is talking about the Clarity Act. But this is the biggest problem. For the Clarity Act to advance, an ethics agreement is the key to unlocking the rest of the negotiations. Eleanor Tourette reports. If we can get ethics, the rest of the bill will come together, according to industry participants. We knew ethics was going to be an issue. If they could get past that, I think we're going to get clarity before the midterms. If not, this could possibly go out past the midterms. Then we could be looking at possibly another year or two before we get clarity. But here's the way I look at this. XRP is still going to break out without clarity. What clarity does is it greenlights all the banks that get on board. But some banks are getting on board even before clarity is in place. We need to see what happens with the Clarity Act going in to next month. Rare moment where my professional and personal worlds collide. XRP is now the first crypto on the jersey of a major college athletics program at my alma mater. XRP family, meet the Jayhawks, Rock Chalk. That comes from Brad Darlinghouse. So now we see the XRP logo on college jerseys. And this is part of a 5-year deal. Ripple announced a 5-year sponsorship deal with the University of Kansas XRP logo to appear on Jayhawks jerseys. Before we continue, I want to tell you about GCRIG arbitrage trading. Based on my experience with them, I can confidently recommend their platform to friends and family. It's a great way to put your cryptocurrency to work and earn passive income through arbitrage trading. Now, let's listen to a video from GCRIG to give you a better understanding of how it works.
What if your capital could profit from price differences across global markets multiple times a day? Right now, billions in liquidity are trapped between regions due to banking restrictions, fragmented markets, and inefficient cross-border systems. GCRIG solves this with its cash recycling body, CRB Network, a global infrastructure connecting licensed financial partners and liquidity providers across multiple markets. Here's the opportunity. Capital is deployed into one market, converted where pricing is favorable, then routed across borders and re-entered into another market, capturing price discrepancies along the way. This process is called arbitrage. Here's a simplified example of how the system operates. An investor deploys 10,000 USDT into the network. In one region, USDT is sold at a higher local fiat value, generating 11,754 euros. That capital is then routed through the network to another region, such as the United States, where it converts to approximately $13,652. Finally, the funds are used to repurchase USDT at a different market rate, resulting in approximately 11,376 USDT. In this example, the initial 10,000 USDT grows to 11,376 USDT in a single cycle, driven by price differences across global markets. This is known as arbitrage. Now imagine that process repeating multiple times per day. That's the power of continuous liquidity cycling within the CRB network. AI-driven systems monitor global markets in real time, identifying the most profitable routes for capital deployment. As an investor, you receive structured contract-based returns, while the system handles execution, routing, and optimization. Access to this network is limited and tier-based. The question is simple: will your capital stay idle or start recycling globally?
Thank you for watching. I'll leave the link below for anyone who is interested. If you'd like to join my team directly, just send me a message or leave a comment below this video saying team, and I'll send you my referral link. Now, let's get back to XRP. I really like the idea of this because you get the logo out there and people start looking and saying, what the hell is XRP? They look it up and then right away they become an XRP investor. You know, most people outside of the crypto space, they still don't know what XRP is. They don't know what XRP does. Soon everybody will be asking you about XRP once the breakout begins. And here's the ETF tracker. Now, there's still 42 minutes left until it closes, so 5.48 million in volume. Even on down days now, we're still seeing volume for the XRP ETFs. And that's a good thing. That shows you that the demand remains. And this is what I believe is really going to lead to scarcity later this year. Brisson from Black Swan Capitalist says $10,000 XRP isn't crazy when trillions need instant settlement, utility, plus scarcity, plus global adoption equals inevitable repricing. The math is on our side. You know, right now, a lot of these people that have been in the community for a long period of time, they're starting to push the idea of a $10,000 XRP again. And I think the reason this is happening is because people could see how close we are now. So it's all about XRP leaving exchanges and so on. A mainstream crypto market analyst has flagged what they call a pressure build in XRP. Roughly 228 million XRP have been withdrawn from major exchanges, Binance and Upbit, in recent weeks. But it's not just happening there. It's also happening on Coinbase as well. So for watching all of this XRP leave the exchanges, we have the ETFs also taking XRP out of circulation. We have Flare taking and locking away a lot of XRP as well. Evernorth locking away XRP. This is all building for a scarcity event later this year. And if that was to happen, we would see some serious spikes on the price of XRP. And that could easily get us to those much higher price points that a lot of people are now talking about. I see more and more people saying that there's a chance that XRP gets to 3 digits by the end of this year, 4 digits most likely by the end of next year. So it all comes down to what happens with central bank digital currencies and how fast adoption happens. Institutions are ready to go as well. Take a listen to this clip.
We've always been waiting, like, when's this inflection point going to happen? I remember coming out, we're here in New York City. I remember coming out maybe 10 years ago and meeting with financial institutions, and they were saying, they were looking for reasons to say no. And if you get them to say yes, they would commit to a proof of concept.
A pilot,
which is like, you know, like that, those words just
pilots,
like, you know, like
yeah.
bring up all sorts of PTSD for me. But like now, you know, I was at a breakfast this morning with a fairly large institution, and they've already hired a team of crypto experts. They are ready to go. That is a very different sort of, you know, posture than it was 10 years ago. And I was actually quite blown away at how fast they wanted to move. So this is not an experiment for them anymore. They're building teams around it. They're building infrastructure. They're talking about custody of assets, which, you know, I welcome. But they want to be part of this future, and they're looking for partners to help them take them into this future. So that's night and day. And And I mean, you definitely hear about it through the press, but to see the pulse firsthand here in New York City, I think is surprising.
He's literally telling you that the institutions are no longer waiting. And that's why I said, I think we're going to see institutional adoption hit so quick. And the wave of money that's going to hit this space is going to be like something we've never seen before. So faces are going to melt when it happens. And these institutions, they're going to be very eager to start kicking off mass adoption once they get here, because they're not entering this space just to buy crypto, wait for the price to go up, and then sell it. They want to open up ways that they can make money month over month. They're going to try to onboard as many people as they possibly can. And the banks getting involved with custody is the next step, offering crypto custody as well. Pundit. I usually don't make XRP price predictions, but I say $10 to $50 is coming by the end of this year. So this is based on the president signing the Clarity Act into law. That's what he's predicting, the $10 to $50 price point. So if we see Clarity get signed into law this year, everything changes. I think that's going to change the timeline in our favor, because things are going to speed up quickly after that happens. And I think that's the part that most people are missing. I see people saying nothing's going to happen until 2030. Tokenization, once that starts rolling, really rolling, it's not going to wait. It's going to continue to pick up momentum month after month, year after year. The first trillion is going to be the hardest. Every trillion after that is going to come faster and faster, because everybody wants to get the upper hand on the competition as well. And it starts with the DTCC. Here we go, bringing $150 trillion of post-trade inventory onto shared digital infrastructure. Exactly 5 days until DTCC begins the soft launch of their tokenization service. This starts on July 13th. And once this starts to get a little bit of momentum, I think the networks that are involved here are going to start to see a major uptick. All of a sudden, the cryptocurrencies associated with those networks are also going to see an uptick in price at the same time. But it all starts on July 13th. With Russia now testing crypto, they've officially approved 3 for the Moscow exchange: Solana, XRP, and Tron. Now, wait a minute. I thought all these BRICS countries, they were going to totally ignore XRP because it's a US-based cryptocurrency. XRP is a global cryptocurrency. So people need to realize that. You know, this isn't just a US event either. Even regulations, it's going to be a global event. Once you start to see tokenization, boom, it's going to be a global event. It's not just going to be happening in the United States. People need to understand how big this actually is. XRP is perfect for the BRICS because China doesn't fully trust Russia. Russia doesn't fully trust China. So when they're sending money back and forth, they're going to need a bridge currency, they're going to need a trust layer, and that's what XRP is. So China could send the yuan to Russia through XRP and vice versa. Same thing with Brazil and the rest of these BRICS countries. Also, India, South Africa, BRICS and XRP is a perfect fit. And once you realize that, that's when you will realize that the BRICS will be using XRP one way or another. But like I said, at the beginning of this video, right now, we're watching XRP at $1.09. As long as we don't fall below $1.08, everything should continue upward from here. It looks like $1.08 is now support for XRP also. We bounced off of it a couple of times, and even when we dipped to $1.07, instantly XRP rose back up. I just want to see price appreciation already for this cryptocurrency. I believe it's way too suppressed right now, and people are getting frustrated because there's a lot of sideways action as well. Whenever you start to see this for XRP, people get frustrated. It's like, when is the breakout going to happen already? We are so close now. It could literally happen right now. And that's the part people don't understand. They think, oh, well, it's never going to happen anytime soon. It comes out of nowhere. And when XRP moves, it's going to move violently to the upside. It's been compressing for so long that the breakout, when it happens, it is going to be absolutely glorious. I'm telling you, faces are going to melt once this starts. And when it starts, it's going to leave a lot of people on the sidelines. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, join my free Telegram community with the link on my channel where I post my daily crypto experience and arbitrage opportunities you can't get anywhere else.